you think atheists are so hated? I've seen poll after poll, and we've talked about them in some other shows, that atheists are the most distrusted group in America. People would never vote for an atheist to be president. You know, Barney Frank, who was a congressman from Massachusetts, a pretty liberal place, came out as gay in something like 1983, didn't come out as an atheist until he was on Real Time with Bill Maher after he had retired, and since then has even backtracked a little bit on saying that he was an atheist. What is it about atheists? Because the atheists that I know are pretty much, by and large, the most decent, sort of humanistic, open people that I know, and yet there's this portrayal of them that's completely the reverse.
I don't think it's that people think that atheists have like horns or anything. You know, I think there's racism and there's xenophobia and there's hate and there's fear and there's all of the different things that feed into why people don't trust or don't like what they don't understand. I think specifically though with atheists, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the religious to understand where this hatred comes from. Because of course, non-religious people don't have any problem with religious people running for office. It's religious people.
Right.
Or, I'm sorry, non-religious people don't have any problem with atheists running for office. It's religious people that have a problem with that. And think about, okay, so for example, you are an upstanding gay man, and there are,
You know, I have my moments.
you have your moments, and there are some religious people who think that you are just, ick, right? Who think that like being gay is disgusting, like Edward Falzon's book, because that's what the Bible teaches. And so they have these ideas in their head that your lifestyle is an abomination and blah, 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 and it is a choice and you could have chosen to live another way. But you're still a person and you're a flawed person and you've made a difficult choice and maybe you can come back around. I think that there's something that really speaks to the core of the structure of belief, that an atheist is somebody who actively rejects the foundation of what matters to these people. And that act is so closely tied to what they think of as the devil, what they think of as evil, what they think of as, you know, heresy, all of these pure, just irrationally fearful states. It's apostasy. It's what fuels ISIS, right? It's worse than being an Islamic apostate. It's worse than being a Christian apostate. It's being an atheist.
Right, it's the ultimate
It's the ultimate apostasy, and I think that that's really where it comes from. And because of that, historically, generation after generation, I think we get a bad rap. So you've got some people who are such deep believers that there's no way they're gonna come around to it. And then you've got other people who just equate the word atheism with like, I don't know, just like bad stuff. Like, they're criminals. They're just like bad dudes.
Right, so I want to get to new atheism. But do you think the other piece of this is that, to me it seems like, because an atheist can come from any religious background, be any sex, be any sexuality, be any nationality, all of those things, that in a weird way what they fear is that this group of people is coming together using sort of the best of all of us. You know what I mean? They think that it's sort of like for gay people. There are gay people of every nationality and ethnicity and religion and all that. And that's why there's so much richness, I think, in the gay community. And I'm starting to think that that's what people fear about atheists too, because there's black atheists, white atheists, gay atheists.
But see, this is something that I think intrinsic in what you just said, the gay community. Like the atheist community, it exists.
It's not, all right,
It exists, but not to the same extent. Because I think there's something that's sort of fundamental to being an atheist that makes some people reject trying to find community. The whole point is that we're not a church. The whole point is that we just don't believe. It's not that we all believe the same thing, it's that we have a lack of belief, and I think that by definition, that makes some people feel like we don't need to band together. There is no common thread here, it's just the default state.
All right, so that's exactly where I wanted to go with this, because new atheists, that seems to be the new thing. So do you have a definition for new atheists? I can sort of tell you what I think, but...
I don't know. I mean, I think that new atheist is a term that's often used by non-new atheists. So it's sort of a derogatory term. So I'm not really sure how to define it because it seems like from the outside people apply that label. Who knows? Maybe I'm a new atheist. I don't know. I do know that the term firebrand atheist is one that's actually kind of welcome within that community. So David Silverman, who is the president of American Atheists, he has a new book coming out. I actually wrote the foreword to his book, which is really funny because he's a hardcore firebrand atheist, and I'm like, not at all. But I like that he is one because I think it takes all types.
Right.
And
so by firebrand, though, you mean like really outspoken?
Oh yeah, like he doesn't think you can be an atheist Jew.
Right.
Like he thinks you need to drop the Jew side because how can you be both an atheist and a Jew? You have to, hold on to your atheist values and you have to be very open about it. Like we talked about this at length on my podcast, and I'm like, of course you can be an atheist.
I mean, Sam Harris last week, who's one of the biggest atheists I know. That barely makes any sense, but
he is so atheist. He so doesn't believe in God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, one of my best friends is an atheist Jew, and I get it. Like, and he's super Jewish and super atheist.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a firebrand atheist. I am really kind of accepting of people's religious beliefs, and I think that we need a spectrum of more secular values if we want to move the goalpost. But I think it's important that there are firebrand atheists, the same way that I think that it's important that when you look at feminism, that there are men who hold on to feminist ideals, that there are women who are out loud and proud and in front of the line talking about it, and then there are women who act in a feminist way, but who don't make it their mission to always be that feminist. Same thing with Black Lives Matter. Across the spectrum, you need the people that are out in front, that are being loud, that are making sure that people pay attention to this movement. But you also need the people who quietly live their lives that way every day.
It's almost like we should have a broad spectrum of people who believe in different things and can all still get along. And
exactly. And the truth is, if you have atheists of all these different flavors, then I think that you're going to see more people being affected, more people that are afraid to come out saying, that person is just like me, or I see myself in that person and I can look at them as a role model. If we were all one flavor, we would turn off a huge section of the population.
Yeah, and I think to sort of wrap this up, I think that's sort of the people that, unfortunately it happens to be a lot of people on the left that have been attacking new atheists. My friend Kyle Kalinske said that a new atheist to him is just an atheist that finally is saying I'm an atheist, because atheists used to have to just not say anything about it.
That's true.
And when I see these people on the left attacking new atheists as if new atheists have some set of beliefs, all they have is this one thing in common, which is not belief, not a bigger set of
And I remember dating somebody previously who I think was a little confused about my atheism, but was probably agnostic himself. And I remember him saying something about like, I just don't understand why you have to be so public about it. I don't understand. It's a private matter. Why are you always, and it's such a double standard. He's like, are you kidding me? Religious people are like the most public people about their religion. And the fact that I want to say vocally, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. I don't factor God into my decision making. I don't believe in any afterlife. I don't believe in anything supernatural. I'm a science-based, evidence-based thinker. The reason I do that is because then if I continue to live my life the way that I hope I'm living it, in a moral way, in an upstanding way, then people can look and go, oh, that's what an atheist looks like? Oh.